Sheesh. The Lord is in, of course he's in here, but it just feels sometimes when you're like, man, you're laying it on extra thick tonight, aren't you? You know what's interesting? The exact same thing had happened to me. Happened to me as well. Died a different death every night for the better part of 10 years. Yeah, the exact same thing. But I was thinking about it's not my testimony, but it is my testimony. When you guys were saying that's the last enemy that must be defeated, and there's a reason that we're overcoming him. Yeah, not much compared to the power of God. Mine is a little metaphorical or cliche, I guess, compared to what everyone was saying. You know, like believe the word, and my relationship with the Lord and how he met me, it was a different way. It went a different way for me. And I'll never forget, I went to jail, and under my mattress on this cold cell, I found a book, and the title of the book was Remind God of His Promises. And this guy had made a ministry reminding the Lord what the Lord said. So he would tell him. And for some reason, this struck me like super hard. I didn't necessarily, I mean, I believed in Jesus, and yes, I believed Jesus was the Word of God, but I didn't, as you could say, believe in the Word, like the miracles that were happening, or like by His stripes I was healed. I didn't necessarily believe those words. But what I believed beyond a shadow of a doubt was that He cannot lie. I did believe that. So I believed beyond any doubt that He couldn't lie. And so I would write down, I'd search through the Bible, man. I would search through the Bible for every promise that I could find. Not because I believed in the promises or was going to confess the promises, but just so I could remind Him what He had said in these particular cases, because I did believe in the deepest part of me that He was not able to lie. And I believed that if I just reminded Him of what He said one time, that it would come to pass. So this has led to huge miracles in my life. Huge miracles. I've seen, man, things that people write books about. I'm convinced at this point. Let's put it that way. I know He is a worker of miracles. I know He is. I've seen some. And one particular miracle I'll share with you. I don't know why, but that's what I was led to bring. Is the little bit of backstory. I got arrested, kicked out of the military. I was on my way to prison. And in this holding cell, I escaped. I'm not going to go into that story much because it only has little to do with the testimony. But I escaped, right? I escaped. I eventually was caught. This forced me, even though I had never done a violent crime or had never done something particularly to get me in this position, it followed me, the fact that I had that escape, this escape from jail, it followed me. So anytime I would go to jail, I got put in maximum security. Driver's license, maximum security. Just anything that was a jailable offense, and I saw my share of those, in my old man days, always maximum security. So I would get put in these places with, I might have been doing 3 or 4 days in jail, but I was in there with murderers, rapists, and the worst of the worst, the place that they send people that they don't want in normal population because they kill people, things like this, right? So I was on and this has led me to be in a unique position. I can use this jail testimony. There was one particular instance where I was in a facility with 20 or 30 other inmates. All of them were facing life, and I think I had 10 days to do for like my 8th driving without a license ticket. So they were like, yep, you're never going to pay these, just serve them out, time served. So I was in there for 10 days, and I started a church every 10 days. So in maximum security, you get 1 hour in this little square area where you can play basketball or walk around and you can see the sun. 1 hour a day, that's all you get. And I somehow convinced these murderers and rapists, that we should spend that 1 hour gathering in the courtyard for church, and I would preach to them. So I got out of there, and I was still on, probation and everything like that, but I actually got a report back that they were letting some people parole out or get the opportunity to parole out and then have to come back for their court date instead of just waiting in jail to go to wherever they were going to. So not a bond, but like a PR is what they call it. Because the attitude and the behavior of the jail had changed so drastically since we started doing that, right? So one of these particular stints, I get in trouble. I've got some bad things in my possession. The cops pull me over. I'm going to jail, and I got a warrant in another county in the Dallas area for having bad things in my possession as well. So I know that I'm going to jail here. As soon as I'm done in jail here, the other people, they're going to come get me, and they're going to take me to jail. And at that point, I'm going to prison, right? So I had read this book, Remind the Lord of His Promises. And mine that is anything that you ask, believing that you will receive it. This was my favorite one because there was a lot that I could plug into this particular verse. There's a lot of things that I wanted or desired, and I believed that He could not lie, and it said whatever, clear as day. So I had some whatevers. This was Christmas of a couple decades ago now. It's kind of crazy. But Christmas was coming up, and I'm in my maximum security cell, and I'm looking through my little 6x6 inch window, and you can touch the cell. There's a toilet and a bed, I guess you could call it that, but you could touch each side of the cell if you held your hands out. 23-hour maximum security, right? So if you put your eye to the window and then crank it all the way to the right, out of one eye you can see down the hallway to like a TV that the guards were watching. So I was up against my window watching Zombieland is what was playing on the thing there. And I'm watching this, and I had just been reminding the Lord of His promises. I'm going for big boy time at this point, so I'm reminding Him of His promises. And I said, you know what? A great deal of just faith in who God was. And I've seen a few things, even being a criminal at this point. I've seen the Lord do some miraculous things. And I said, I want to be released from this jail. I want to be released from this jail. I make you a deal. You release me from this jail, I spend Christmas, and then I'll turn myself in afterwards, right? And I got a resounding yes. I'm not kidding. He said, yes, absolutely. That's what you wish. That's what I'm going to do for you. Do you believe that I'll do it? I said, I believe you'll do it. I said, all right. Fine. Back to the Zombieland movie. Back to watching that, and I said that I believe that I'm going to be released. I'm going to be released tonight. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of this jail cell. Right? I'm out of here. Mind you, I've got a warrant in another county, and I'm due for prison. So I have no bail. I have no family there. There's no way I'm getting out of this jail, right? This is a good one. Yep, and so it rolls around, the movie ends, and it still hasn't been. I was like, for sure this is going to be like a 5-minute ordeal. You know what I'm saying? The movie's over now, and I thought, man, am I going? Am I still going to go to jail? So I pushed there's a little box where if you're dying in an emergency, you can push a button, and the guard will come over the speaker and be like, are you dying? And you tell them, yeah, I'm dying. But that's the only reason you're supposed to push it, and it's a known truth. Do not push it unless you absolutely have to, because the cops have been known to run in there and then beat you for pushing it when you're not supposed to push it. But I just had to know because I believed what the Lord had said. I just had to know. So I was willing to risk the beating. And I pushed on it, and I said, is somebody coming to pick me up from another county? And she said, oh yeah, they're definitely coming. They're on their way. And I hit my knees and I said, oh no, my belief. And I heard clear as day in my head, a criminal in maximum security prison. I heard, so if a man tells you that my word is not true, you believe him over me? And I said, absolutely not. Nope, nope, absolutely not. That guard doesn't know what he's talking about. No way. I'm out of here. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. But I cannot deal and I can see no clock. I don't know like what the time is. It could have been 5 minutes, guys. I really don't know. It could have been 3 days, not really, but I have no idea how much time is passing. I just cannot take the anticipation and finding the end result. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to lay down. I'm just going to lay down and I'm going to remember like I've just had an encounter with the Lord that said, do you believe them or do you believe me? Somewhere in me, I think my spirit knew this was going to take a little bit of time. This was a trial. I didn't understand all of that yet, not like I do now, right? Baby Christian. So I laid down on the bed. I must have fallen asleep because I get woken up and I jump out of bed because it scares me. That loud box says, Lettingham, roll your mat, which meant gather your things. And so I jumped up out. Boy, I jumped up out of that bed. I said, I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. I already know. So I'm in maximum security. There's supposed to be a guard that comes to get you out of maximum security. You have to put your hands behind your back and then back up to the door. And then they put the handcuffs on you. Then you back away. Then they come in. They grab you by the arm and they lead you down the hallway. Blah, 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 blah. Through the different doors and all this stuff, right? Because of the one escape, right? So I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, there's going to be a guard here. He's going to pop up the thing. I'm going to do the thing. We're out of here, like these guys, they don't know what's happening right now, right? No guard whatsoever. So I roll my thing. I sit in front of the door for a while, and I hear, burn, and the door opens. And I'm like, I've already escaped once, guys, and it was a bad, so I'm like, we're really pushing the limits of what I can do here in my baby faith, right? So I look out of the crack and I don't see anyone there, and I'm like, so I put a finger and I push it open. And I look around the door and then look down the thing, and there's no guards. There's no one there. There's obviously cameras and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know what I should do now. I pushed the door out and I kind of hopped out. And I proceeded down. There's only one way you can go. So I've got my little mat roll that I have here, and I'm walking out the door, and I get to the next. There's like 4 checkpoints that I have to go to. I get to the next checkpoint, and I stand in front of it. I'm clearly not trying to run, so everybody knows, like, I'm just, I'm waiting. And then I hear, bah! And the door slides off. And I'm like, I'm getting out of here at this point. At this point, I'm like, for sure, we're out of this joint. So I clear all of the checkpoints. I get to the foyer, or the foyer, whatever you call that, where they do intake for new people coming in. So it must have been 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning maybe. I didn't know because I couldn't get my phone or anything like that. Didn't have any of that. So there's one guard sitting at the computer station, in this big foyer. There's no one else there. I roll out with my mat, and I look to the right, and my property, the belongings that I came with, are sitting on the desk right beside the thing. And I'm still in prison clothes. So I say, all right. I put my mat down and I walk on. I don't know what to do. There's no one giving me any instructions. There's nobody to talk to. All the officers are gone. I just walked out of maximum security. So I grab my things. I go into what was a bathroom, but it's actually where you go when you first get into it. They put you in. They make you dress down and they rub lice stuff all over you and just spray you with cold water. And they're like, welcome to prison, boy. And then send you down. So that's the room that I walked into, and I changed out, put my clothes on, and then came back out and threw my, they were blue scrubs, and just threw them in this little bin that I was there. So now I'm standing in the middle of the jail foyer in my clothes. I even have a cell phone and a lighter and some cigarettes at this point. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I kind of mosey over to the desk area and stand in front of her. This lady never looks at me. She never asks me my name. She never says anything. She said, when it lights up, put your finger on the thing. So I'm looking. There's a fingerprint station. It turned red. Lights up. I put my finger on it, and that's it. Never said anything to me. You're good to go. Get out of here. Nothing like that. So I'm looking at the foyer, and that door that door is clearly the door that you're supposed to get out of, right? It's right by them. And so I just walk and I stand in front of that door and I hear, we've got one ATW, which is all the way. I said, oh no, at this point, I can't believe it. I believe to get to this point and I can't believe what's happening at this point. So I stand at the thing, we got one ATW and the door opens and I come out and you're in a room. So one door opens, you're in a room, and then there's another door. Behind that door is freedom. But it's just to make sure nobody makes it as far as I have made it without being supposed to have made it this far, right? So I'm standing at the thing and I'm just waiting. There's a black window. I can't tell if anybody's behind there. There probably is. Somebody can see me. I can't see them. I'm just standing in this room for maybe what seems like an eternity, to be honest with you. But I hear the sound, and the door slides, and I'm looking to my left and I see Chevron, which is freedom. And when I tell you that I run at God's speed, when they say God's speed, I'm like a bullet. I run out of that thing and I'm running to the Chevron, just in case. I don't know. Maybe that's as far as my faith could get, and then they're like, stop or something. So I'm booking it to this Chevron. I get to the Chevron, and at this point, I just break down crying because I know exactly what's happened. And I also know the deal that I've made, and I know that I only have a short time out here in freedom before I must go back for the Christmas break is over, right? And so I just break down crying. I say, man, you are a God of your word, aren't you? You are. I do believe that. I believe that without a shadow of a doubt. So then the joy and the triumph came over me, and I walked up and down the street just screaming at the top of my lungs every good thing that I could think about the Lord. And normally you would think like, probably not the best idea. A cop sees you, crazy person. It might pull you over, and you definitely have a warrant out for your arrest. But I just knew, like, I got a vacation. Like, I'm on furlough right now, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. And to clear, like, it was absolutely a miracle. When I got picked up after Christmas break for being foolish again. But they said, we've been looking for you. I said, well, here I am. I'm here. You got me. And they were like, something, like we could give you another escape charge for this. I said, absolutely no, you cannot give me no other escape charge, not in the name of Jesus or anything like that. But go back and review some security footage. I clearly went through all proper procedures to get out of here, was very calm. And they said, yeah, we don't know what happened. We literally have no idea what happened. There was no protocol. I'm sure that everybody at the jail is fired at this point because there was no protocol for me getting the handcuffs, walking to the doors, getting out. Somebody let me out. They scanned my fingerprint. My fingerprint made it through the system. Big alerts didn't come up saying, hey, this guy has warrants and is supposed to be in prison. Walked right out of that thing. And that is a God of miracles. Yeah.